Good morning, cousin. Happy Friday. Like, it's already a busy mind day, I guess. So I should give you a little bit of context. Last week, I had the overwhelming urge to completely rewrite my grimoire. And it's because when you do world building in this way, things change significantly. And in less than 12 months, such massive changes have happened, such clarity has been clocked that the grimoire is kind of a different thing. It's going to be serving a purpose that is much more dialed in than I was even brave enough to communicate when I wrote the Grimoire of the Ungovernable last year. The changes that have been made won't be a surprise to anyone, but especially if you are already engaged in the work that we do through Bright and Dark Center. The grimoire is just telling a bigger part of the story and explaining a little bit more about the ecosystem that has already been created by witches who are practicing this tradition that is being outlined in this grimoire. It's a magical tradition specially curated for neurodivergent, black sheep cycle breakers. And it's to help them repair their relationship with themselves and their life and their relationship to magic. So, yeah, it's been a whole thing. And if you don't know already, I'm a clinically diagnosed autistic savant. And I have been all up in this for the last week. So I'm almost done. I've got like 10 pages left to do. And then I'm going to go over it again, of course, and just like really, really dial it in. And then we're going to be submitting it to publishers like Llewellyn and a couple of other publishing houses to actually get you guys the long-awaited actual like grimoire. For those of you that have already purchased the digital version, I fully intend to email you a copy of the new edition. as a thank you for supporting me as I sort my shit out. Uh, so there, like, it's been a lot of work, but it's so good, guys. And so I'm like 10 pages from being done with this, like massive edit. And I wake up this morning and like the channel's wide open, like that decision to do that, all the work that I've invested in, and then what's going on like planetarily right now is uh anyway. So what I keep getting, brace yourselves. You're thinking too small. These manifestations that you're doing, this like this is the life, this is the thing that's going to make my life amazing. You're thinking too small. You are aiming way, way, way too low. And for example, if you stumbled upon a sorceress that could grant you any wish that could, give you the world that you want, what are you asking for? And if you are asking for things like stomping on a Cheeto or winning the lottery, we need to have a conversation because you are aiming too low. And the wish, what you are asking for, is to be further entrenched in a system that is dependent on the subjugation of others by either of those. And you don't even know it. You're so deeply indoctrinated to believe that your way out is for someone else to have to get out of the way, or that money is going to solve your problems and make you happy, right? Like, no shame. I understand so deeply why you believe that I wrote an entire tradition to help you understand how that's problematic and how that is actually keeping you caged. You are limitless and you don't even know it. And in fact, if you knew how limitless you were, you would not be participating in your life in the way that you are. So that's what I woke up to. So this is going to be a really fun divination ceremony, cousins. Thank you for lending your vibe to this space. The way that we do this divination ceremony is a little bit different. It is in alignment with the tradition that is outlined in the Grimoire of the Ungovernable. I consider your path and your relationship to magic and your intuition as sacred, the most sacred. And so I refuse to engage with you as if you don't have access to the same information I do, because you most definitely do. You just have been taught to dismiss that connection or to reject that connection in some way. And it's spaces like this where you are required to actually engage with your own intuition and to put your own intuition first, that helps you in repairing that relationship. All right. But before I get started, I'm going to hydrate. Oh, Morgana. I'm going to poke a little. Okay. So this is how sneaky it is, guys. It says, I'd probably just ask for the fall of the patriarchy to happen a little faster. Fast with world building means painful. Fast is painful. That fast means a tower moment. It means everything's stripped away. and you are left with making sense of the rubble. Fast isn't always better, right? It's one of those like careful what you ask for. We have been sold this idea that quick fixes are the ideal way to receive things. Let's get it fast. I know you did, Morgana. That's why I'm just like, I'm digging at you. This is Morgana is the co-steward of Weird Frig with me. Yeah, towers, you don't have to wait for the fall to begin creating. And you aren't. We aren't. We have created uh, like the bane of their existence. We're a fucking threat, right? It takes us back to they don't fear guns, they fear hoes, like rakes and hoes. They fear food sovereignty, they fear community, right? Doing those things, that is what's going to make the biggest, like, okay. Are we ready? Told you I'm on one. I do know that Ocean, our mod god, has some voice of God announcements for us today. So while I hydrate, hi, Ocean.
Hello. Happy Friday. I do have some announcements for us today. Please join us tomorrow for Wisdom in the Weave. This is a live recording of our new witchy podcast that takes place 1 hour after our morning divination ceremony. After that, we have Celestial Connections Taurus, a workshop designed to support you in embodying your Taurus archetype, embracing your second house, and living the authentic expression of your Venus placement. For these workshops and more, please join our app at community.brightanddark.org. Thank you, Jen Marie. Back to you.
All right. So let's pull some tarot cards. We're asking where our attention needs to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our lives and our practice. Today is a big old fat new moon. And what are you working on today before we get started? Right? You don't have to, if you're like superstitious about speaking your manifestations, uh, that's fine. But I fully, with my whole heart and every fiber of my being, will be manifesting something that's called the Resource Project. I am manifesting the Resource Project. And you'll see what I'm talking about here very soon. I say with a gleam in my eye. Okay, I'm going to start by taking 3 deep breaths, and then I'm going to do what I do to get my system prepared for divination. You do the same in your special way. And then we're going to be pulling some tarot cards. I'm going to be pulling 2 for the collective. If you have a relationship with a deck of tarot cards or oracle cards, you can pull a couple of cards that will kind of dial that into your specific flow. And then you can share them in the comments with the other witches, and we're all going to have lots of fun getting that sweet, sweet validation that we are a lot more connected than we've been made to believe. Shall we begin? Anna says that they planted literal seeds last night, and they represent all their parts coming together to grow in unison. I love that. I started my tomatoes the other day. I suck so bad at sharing with you guys the stuff that I'm involved in, and it is not that I'm not doing really cool shit all the time, all day, every day. I am, and I want so badly for you to be able to see what's possible. You can have this life too, but I suck at pulling out my camera and sharing it because I'm so completely engaged in what I'm doing. It is my spiritual practice to be deeply engaged in what I'm doing. And we have a massive table filled, completely filled with starts and are about to put in a permaculture style terraced garden right in the front lawn here at Weirdbrook. We're taking out the lawn and putting in growing food instead in little polycultures. And man, I hope I do better at sharing with you guys that. So just so you know, I love it when you share with me the stuff that you're growing and the things that you're doing. I feel so deeply about food sovereignty, specifically freedom through food sovereignty and growing your own food and having a deep and meaningful relationship with what you actually consume in your like body. It's important. All right. Okay. All right. Here we go. I humbly invite all that is fire within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is air within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is earth within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I humbly invite all that is water within this system to witness this working. And if alignment is found, may you choose to bless this flow. I beckon to this system. May we now align as one. For my cousins are the elements, and so the moon and sun. I call to those who love me. You are welcome in this space. For our nature is united, sharing magic, life, and grace. And now we make a declaration of intention. What are we doing? Why are we here? Why we always got to make it weird? I choose now in this moment to align with my whole self. To pull the book that tells my story from its place upon the shelf. I enter now this circle made of trust and hope and power. And I show up for my practice in this place and at this hour. Because I am home. Mm. Okay. Where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? There is just so you know, there is a flying insect in the room with me. And I will do my best to be very present with my response to this flying insect. But I have a really, really strong fight or flight response when it comes to flying insects. Like, I might scream. That happens frequently. Completely involuntary, and I'm so sorry, but that could happen. Morgana, if you're listening, I'm okay. Here's me shrieking from the other side of the house. All right, where does our attention need to be today to bring the most expansion in our relationship with our life and our practice? And I'm pretty sure it's not going to be on some flying bug in the room. I will laugh my whole ass off if we somehow pull a card that is like, hey, your relationship with flying insects. Maybe we should take a look at that. I would. You pulled the bee oracle card, that would get me screaming. Okay. Last time, where does our attention need to be today in order to bring the most expansion in our relationship, our life, and our practice? Okay. I'm going to put my glasses on. All right. Wow. I can see so much better. It's so weird. Okay. The Six of Wands upright. This is the card that we drew. I'm going to read that card. I'm going to read the prompt that's on the card without influencing your interpretation of what this means to you. But you are going to sit here and ask yourself what it means. What's the first thing that comes up for you when I read this? An important milestone has been reached, and you're feeling confident and self-assured. Not only have you reached your goals, but others have taken notice and you've received acclaim. Don't let guilt stand in the way of your success. And the reverse is you're doubting yourself or feeling a bit of imposter syndrome. You may also be seeking validation, but you're not getting it. Define your version of success rather than looking for external approval. And if you're feeling egotistical, you might want to take it down a peg before someone knocks it down for you. What does this card feel like? If your guides were using this card. Okay. I don't know about you, but this really feels like a permission slip to be fracking insufferable. Like if you have done something that is like, it's a big deal. Like it's a big deal. You're allowed to like, look what I did. Look what I did. Look what I did. I'm trying really hard. YouTube doesn't like it. Doesn't like my vocabulary, my use of strong language. And so I'm trying really hard not to. But if there were ever a day for you to be insufferable about your accomplishments, like what you did, today would be that day. So, of course, we need to also look at the ways that we believe that either that whole like imposter syndrome thing that's going to rob you of actually being able to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? Or that like I've got to be humble, and that the belief that actually acknowledging your success and like the again fruits of your labor is somehow like a bad thing and makes other people uncomfortable. Screw that. You're not responsible for other people's like feelings. Okay. You're allowed to celebrate your successes. And if those around you can't celebrate with you, who the hell are you having in your life? Like if you don't have people that like if you walked into the room strutting like, look what I did. I don't care if that's like, I did my laundry today. Like, I did my laundry. I went through that doom pile that I've been putting off forever. And if your friends are not like, hell yeah, look at you owning that, what are you doing? Like, why are you? That's a really your success, you experiencing success is a really great catalyst to filter your closest relationships because you will see what people are there for real quick, really, really quick. Okay. And if they're like, this person, if your friends think they need to knock you down a peg or keep you grounded in reality, like, what are you doing hanging out with people like that? You weren't here. You were not incarnated to keep your freaking feet on the ground. You were incarnated to do big things. Just because they can't, or they feel intimidated, or they like had a lived experience that didn't let them enjoy their successes, doesn't mean that you have to live like that. It's more of that like you're aiming too low. Because like, oh, ooh, this is a good one. Are you aiming low because you don't want to be egotistical or you don't want to or you're feeling like imposter syndrome? I can't really do that. I'm not that cool. I can't do that. If I outwardly said that I could do that, then, that would make me a bad person. What's going on there? Why are you like or even minimizing your successes as well? So, um, for those of you who it is your responsibility, I'm trying to think of like the most taken for granted job or responsibility out there. And usually what comes up is like motherhood or caretaking, uh, which is a massive responsibility. If you think for a second that your accomplishments in showing up for your offspring or those you caretake is not a really big deal, that celebrating, look what I did, look at like how look at what I did. If you like, man, the most important job, the one, I mean, you have to remember that my perspective is very much more like matriarchal than what you're accustomed to. And caretaking those, like the next generation, or caretaking the previous generation, that is massive threshold work. That is massive threshold work. And uh, like the pathway to immortality, it's huge. So don't underestimate the work that you're doing, right? Okay, so now we got to look at what we're in resistance to or in denial of that is actually blocking our shit with regards to this, like, acknowledgement of your success. The Knight of Swords reversed is what we drew. Remember that this is what we are in resistance to or in denial of. Like this influence on our like decision making. My hair is deciding to be like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm leaning into my bog witch era. I love that my hair's cooperating. Anyway, I'm going to read this. You're full of energy, but have no idea what to do with it. Find some sort of outlet before you pop. Be sure to stick with a single task before jumping to the next. Failing to do so will keep you from ever getting anything done. The night may also be telling you that you're lacking the life experience necessary, so don't fret about making mistakes along the way. And the upright is you're on a mission and there's no stopping you. The only problem is that you may be too quick to take action and you're not planning. Keep that energy flowing, but be calculated. Don't trip over anyone on your way either. You may be careless of the feelings of others or on your mission inadvertently. So try to remain empathetic. Brew on that. I myself am brewing. Woo! I think I did pretty well. Did you guys see that? There was a ladybug on my arm and I barely made a sound. I did vocalize, but I didn't scream. Need a moment to shift back into the zone. Okay. So there's this thing that you're doing. I know I say this all the time. You know the thing that you're doing? You know the thing that you're like, oh, I want to do the thing, right? That moment, the transition from the planning phase, the preparation phase to the execution phase, like you're actually going to do the thing, the initiation, the task initiation bit, right? Knowing when the time is right for that is challenging, right? There's all this like doubt going on. There's all this like, oh, am I doing this too quickly? Did I think everything through? Is now the time, right? And we can sit there and like doubt ourselves and then never actually do the thing that we're actually going to be very, very successful at when we do it, right? Success can mean a lot of different things, though. Uh, Sometimes when we are like, we're feeling very supercharged to do a thing, and we do a thing, but we don't necessarily plan everything out. We don't create a sustainable foundation for this thing that we're doing. And it ends up like crumbling to the ground and taking some of the people we care about with it, right? And we see that as like a massive failure, right? But experiences like those are what teach us what not to do. That, my dear, is a lot of data collection. If you actually look at what you did, how you participated in that, so that you can learn how to course correct when you're doing this great big thing. All right. So, all of that to say that you can't really make a wrong choice. Whatever you're going to do is going to be successful, whether you successfully pull it off or you successfully collect the data that you need in order to pull off the real big thing, whatever that is, right? That's still success, right? So what kind of adjusting what is your definition of success? What are you actually trying to do here? Okay, and that's one of the reasons why we use the word expansion. Expansion in our relationship. Expansion in our relationship. That equals success, right? And expansion in my relationship with um, business means making some like problematic decisions sometimes that don't always work out in everyone's best interest. But that, but what you do in that moment is what defines you and your character and sets you up or can set you up for uh, an outcome that is expansive for you. All right, witches. Don't let. Okay, so I think there needs to be more on this. So, how do you know when to make the decision, when to do the thing? Right? Oftentimes, you don't know for sure. Right? This is dependent on your relationship with your intuition and how much time you've spent actually leaning into that part of your facet of your life. You get much, much better at knowing when is the time to do it. What is the difference between like a manufactured sense of urgency out of fear to do it, um, or when is it like time to do that? This what I'm feeling is propulsion into what I'm doing. How do you know the difference between that urgency or propulsion? You do it a lot, is the answer. Only you can decide when the time is right. Okay. But I can tell you right now that if your plan does not include rest and rehabilitation for you specifically, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's not sustainable. If your goal is a sustainable success, if you don't include rest for you, if you're like, oh, I just have to like go at 120% for the next 6 months, I can do that. I'm capable of it. Oh, I know. And you will also burn out epically before you can even enjoy your success, which is a pattern, right? So this time, maybe plan for that. And once you have that locked in of like, okay, this is my plan so that I can make sure that I'm not like going to burn out again, then do it. Okay. Usually, if it's scary, a little bit scary, it's probably the way. Not gonna lie, because scary usually means outside of your comfort zone. And that's where your big dreams are. Not in your comfort zone. It's not where you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't want it. Okay. That's our reading for the day. So I'm going to spend Friday, the rest of my day, continuing to pick away at rewriting my grimoire, the second edition of my grimoire. So that's fun. That's what I'm doing. And then I think I might have some private sessions with some witches in my coven later this afternoon, and probably writing more because I'm very much in a monotropic state with that, and that's okay. I'm allowing myself rest. I'm going to be going outside. All right, witches, let's close out this working. So hand on your heart, take a deep breath. This working is now closing, but the magic has just begun. I humbly thank the elements and both the moon and sun. To all who chose to bless this flow, I now sincerely thank you. May our practice be expansive and our course be clear and true. All right. Remember, witches, if you can't be good at it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.